Welcome to the Living Alon podcast, where we help you reclaim your confidence and energy through taking control of your wellness. I'm Paige Hope.
And I'm Tracy Vallejos. Join us for quick chats on wellness, personal growth, hormone regulation, and more. Before we get started, now I just want to say, talk about feeling confident. On our last episode, I always love to plug from the beginning. Feeling confident is also feeling confident in your skin, though. In regards to, we talked about exfoliating and how it rejuvenates your skin. And we've had so many people go, oh my goodness, I never thought about that, because I wasn't exfoliating, as Paige has always really been exfoliating for a long time. I was just lathering lotion on, hoping it was going to rejuvenate my skin, right? And then as soon as I started exfoliating and then putting a great product on, my skin has never felt so much better. So I do want to say, though, if you want to feel confident in that way, please go back and listen to the last episode.
That was a good plug, Tracy, because I also loved the episode. And we plug a little bit of graceful aging in there as well.
Yes. So,
well, Tracy, I'm excited about this episode. Let me just tell you why. Because to me, confidence, and Tracy will get into this, confidence is really not on the looks at all. That is kind of a byproduct, and we're going to get into some of our fun glow-up tips, if you will, right? Because we all love those. But it's actually a little bit different, and so stay tuned in, because we are going to share some really interesting stuff that got us to where we are, and it plays a pivotal role in the relationships that you build, how you work, the way that you show up in the world, and all of the things.
It really does. And, Paige and I were talking before we hit record here. And so I'm going to get into it and share a little bit about my story, as many of the listeners, some will know and won't know Paige. But, I've been blessed enough to be able, for 28 years, be a corporate executive, helping scale 3 different billion-dollar companies. And it's definitely not for the faint of heart, and being in global. True. But it was really that first company, and I was there for 14 years, and I was blessed to be impacted, be able to really help thousands of women and traveling every single week. But here's where it all ties together. So great to come full circle is people couldn't believe that I was resigning at that point in my career to go back to school in New York to be a holistic health practitioner. Because Paige, what was happening, even though I was out there helping with personal development, leadership development, and like business skills and so forth, what women really at the end of the day, as they were coming up afterwards and we were chatting, or maybe, lots of times I'd go to dinner with people. At the end of the day, they would ask me these 3 things. I'm always all about journaling, Paige. And almost like in order, they would once say, how do you have so much energy? Like, how do you really do this? We see you on videos, now we see you in person. No matter what, like, you have so much energy. Like, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you take, like, I want it too. Because if I had that much energy, then I could go out and do the things that I wanted to do. And I would be more confident to go out and be able to give to myself, give to my family, go out there, whether it was on being an entrepreneur, and that would give them confidence. So I was like, wow, I remember really thinking about that. And we'll talk about this. Like, what was it that gave me so much energy, that gave me confidence to be able to do this? And then number 2, they'd be like, and are you always so positive? Tracy, like, we always see you, right? You're a single mom, you travel, you have 2 kids. My kids were definitely in school back then, right? They're grown and so forth. You have a lot of responsibility in what you do in growing and scaling a business. And you deal with a lot of different personalities, but you're always so positive. And so that positivity, I also believe, feeds into that confidence. The Pages heard me say this so many times. I'm going to pick up, a pen as if it's a fork. I'm like, what's on the end of your fork is really important to your health, your well-being, that energy and confidence on a cellular level, right? But also, I said, even more important is, what are you feeding your mind? What is like not on the end of your fork, but what are you feeding your mind? Meaning, what am I scrolling on TikTok or Instagram? What am I reading when it comes to books and things? What am I listening to music, or even listening to on social, or listening to on television? Because that is going to be able to feed your mind. And I know we did something, I think it was 2 episodes ago, and perhaps we should put it in our show notes, that really talked about what are those words that you say to yourself. Because if I didn't constantly get myself back, feed my mind positivity, say no to the things that I didn't want to and didn't read and didn't need to listen to, I didn't need to get caught up. I am really good about, I always say no drama in my personal life, no drama and also in my professional life. And I am really good. I've helped people with words to be able to keep out of things because when you have positivity, and right, and not saying positivity every day as if nothing's wrong. I mean, Paige and I are going to talk about that. Believe me, there's no such thing. But how you can keep yourself there gives you energy and confidence. And then number three, people would say to me, and what is it that you're eating out of that baggie? Because whatever it is that you're eating and doing, I want to do it too. So I used to be, oh my gosh, I have this diet plan because back then that's what we called them. Let's be honest, we're like, 90s, early 2000s, and it literally says Tracy's diet plan. And everybody say, I don't care, just write it down, whatever snacks, whatever food, whatever you do. Because if it gives you that type of energy, Tracy, and I want to know what to do, what to eat, I don't want to guess. What are you listening to and reading? I want to do it too. Because if I end up having that much energy and confidence, that's what I want. So it definitely plays a part. And I want to share some of those things that it's not about being a size two. Like I always say, when I speak and do things, it is never about a certain size but being confident in your skin, being confident, not comparing yourself to someone else, being confident that you truly are. It's like me with my curly hair. I always thought I would be prettier if I had straight hair. And believe me, we didn't have flat irons and stuff. I'm like looking at Paige, like that wasn't our thing. And so I had to be confident in knowing that I was gifted and birthed into this world just as I am and who I am, that if I actually looked and focused inner at me, and took my own gifts and then took those and built upon those gifts. Like Paige is going to share a lot about like she was born with gifts in the world. Each and every single one of us are born with that. But when we push boundaries and we feel confident and we know what we're putting into our bodies, that does help us give that energy that we want, right? We are listening to the right things. We're being around a community of other women that can help us and lift us up. And that is what the Living Alon Network is all about, is being part of a community that helps you and be able to be just who you are and a little bit better and giving and making you and feel confident. So Paige, that's a little bit of my story, a little bit about confidence. And I know we want to talk more, but I want you to share like how you got so much into confidence and wanting to build this community and what you do. And that again, it's not about a size. That's really not what confidence is about.
No. And I'm sure you guys are listening to this and you're like, okay, well, that sounds nice, like loving yourself, loving your curls, how do I get there? Well, I will tell you guys, I went down this and Tracy did as well. And this is actually how we bonded initially, was our mindset and outlook on life. And what happened was, I remember being very young. Tracy knows I'm an old soul. Many past lives, okay?
Many past lives, this girl's had no doubt. No doubt in my mind. Her wisdom is just unbelievable. Sorry, Paige, didn't mean to interrupt you, but oh my goodness.
It is an inside joke over here, but I remember being really, really, really young and just knowing that there was more. And so I went down the whole self-help realm, right? Where you're reading all of the self-help performance books and all of those things and just kind of like undercovering. And then you go through your own spiritual journey and then things kind of escalate from there. Well, where my life started to take a turn in terms of confidence was executing on some of the things I never thought I could do and talking to myself. Of course, you guys have listened to our gratitude episode, hopefully. Having a heart of gratitude, because that gives you confidence to continue to persevere when things do not go the way that you think they're supposed to go. So what I like to say, and Tracy knows this, is when something goes wrong, which when you're running a company, there's going to be some situations that come up and arise. And I call them situations. I don't even call them problems because I'm like, we don't even go there. The biggest difference in my life that I can actually say is I look up and I'm like, okay, this is all happening the way it's supposed to. This is preparing me for that. And I just have a simple twist in my mind where I literally just assume everything is working out. It's happening the way it's supposed to. I've set my dreams. I've set my big goals. That is beautiful. And we're going to teach you guys how to do the same and live a life that truly is full of more energy and confidence. And doing that is also chasing your dreams, right? Figuring out what your purpose is, living a life that's actually fulfilling to you, right? Circling back to that living alone network. And so for me, confidence early on for me started with really that just taking action, right? Taking action on things even if they were scary and looking at it as excitement rather than fear. And what's so funny about me is I don't know where this came from, but I feel like I have this, I always tell Tracy, this veil over me where people just assume I'm constantly stressed. And I'm like, no, I am not stressed. And that is so weird to come from a business owner's mouth, but it's truly because I am chasing the feeling of joy and happiness every day. And that in turn gives me more confidence because I'm living a life that is so true to me. I'm impacting people. I get to work with Tracy every day. I mean, come on, right? Like that in itself.
Ditto, Paige. Ditto. And now all of our listeners, right? We have all of us have one another, so it's perfect.
Yes. And so I think those are my biggest things is really shifting your mindset, having gratitude. Go back to that gratitude episode. Do the Tracy thank you, the triple, because that is going to start shifting your mind. And then you're going to feel more comfortable taking action. And then it's the domino effect. You accomplish one thing, you keep accomplishing. And boom, your confidence is going to skyrocket. I'm telling you, like start chasing your dreams and following that purpose. That's really where that inner confidence comes from. So I'm so passionate about that. I'm probably talking so loud right now, Tracy.
Love it. And you're not. And I think everybody, I hope you're listening to what Paige is saying, is that confidence really comes from your mindset. You heard her say, like, there are always going to be situations come up. Business owner, being a mom, a woman, life, a human. I mean, no matter what. And that, you know what? It's just a little situation. That's all it is.
Just
and
a situation.
Don't be confident. Don't think, oh my goodness, I failed. Or I wish I could have done this better. Oh, I this. Like, no. Just over the weekend, Paige, I was talking to someone and he was literally saying, oh, I'm not able to cook. I'm not able to do those things. Like, I'm so incompetent about that. And I said, well, who told you that? And he paused, looked at me and said, well, no one did. I've told myself. I said, oh. I said, well, let's start changing that language. I said, because you can. You are competent. It may look different than other people, but that's what I want people to understand that are listening here. Like that confidence does come. But now I
love that, Tracy.
It was huge. I mean, it dropped in and I was like, oh, because we've all done it before. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Right? No, I remember on my door for so many years in my closet, because I had to get dressed every day. So it was somewhere it said, I am good enough. I am smart enough and I deserve success. And I said it over and over. Right? My education may look different. My career path may be different, but I am good enough in what I do. I am smart enough in what I do and everything. And I do deserve it. And that everything in my life, and people that know me know this, whether it, was perhaps a relationship that I've been in because I have been divorced, or perhaps, something else from business. Those were not failures. That's wisdom. Those are things I could connect the dots. I always write down that gratitude, everything I learned, how that's helped me go to the next phase or take it with me. I have never one time at all. But I'm going to circle us back though with something, Paige, that I don't want to be like, you like how we're going to go circle back.
So we do have ADD. We're pretty sure undiagnosed. Her and I can keep up with each other, but if the audience ever can't, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We're scrolling all over the place because I want to go back to, there was one of the first companies I was with 14 years. I mean, resigning to go back to study holistic health was like, are you kidding me, Tracy? Right? Like, oh my goodness, everybody in the world, right? CEO flying in from New York to ask me what the heck I was doing. Everybody in the world's freaking out. But again, here's what I want to tie back a few key things, because I will always tie it back to like what we're nourishing our body with, right? And this is why we're so passionate about giving you this podcast. I will say this and for the ever and ever, it's not about being perfect. Oh my goodness, no way. Food is joy. But what I also know is in working with women and I help them and guiding them, like what on a cellular level, especially with our hormones and everything going on, what are the foods that actually do give me energy? Because I realize, just like with Paige and I, you watch, they're like, people with energy, they're like, oh my gosh, they can accomplish anything. Like, I wish I had that much energy. I would go out and do all the stuff. And
Yeah,
so
because
I,
you do need the energy to take action, is what
oh, yes,
like
you
from
do.
what my side was. So it is true.
And then this, I'm going to go back to why people would say to me, what are those baggies in your purse, Tracy, whenever you were traveling? See, for me, I was very intentional. And I feel like, I believe in God. I have spirituality. I was like, I needed to go through my own things to be able to be relatable to people to understand, right? All the dieting up and down. I talk about I'd start 52 diets a year. There's 52 Mondays in a year. Every week was a new diet. And then every time I quote unquote failed, my confidence level went down. Then I didn't feel like I was good enough. And it was like always spiraling. And so that's for another, episode to really get dive deep into. But what I realized finally is what I was running from the most, food, is what I needed the most. But I learned what food gave me energy. I would look at food and I would know, is it going to put me on a sugar roller coaster? Right? Is it going to turn on these gremlins? So, a couple episodes ago, we talked about gremlins and leptin, and gremlins are grouchy and they're a hormone. And like I understood how to be able to fuel my body. And when I traveled, I said, I wasn't taking that chance. I want you to love yourself, everybody, right now. I want you to love yourself to know you are worth taking a few extra moments. I used to say that I would pack the right snacks. So as I was running through the airport or coming home, that I wasn't exhausted, tired. Sure, I was from traveling, but I was going to make sure that I wasn't sitting on a plane now and having to eat a little baggie of something or being running through an airport and having to grab something. Those situations are going to come up, Paige, of course. But
Mhm.
I said, I am here and I love myself. I am worthy to give myself energy and confidence. I am worthy that when I get home to be there for my kids. I am worthy to be able to help and be able to put together training programs and systems to scale businesses. And so when I learned how that food was fuel and that gave me energy, it helped me with confidence. And then all of a sudden, I'm helping others tap into what gives them energy and confidence. What food gave them joy? What turned on? I always say there's like a switch inside, a light switch. You can turn off or on. Am I going to turn on energy or am I going to zap energy? And when it made such beautiful sense in the most simplest way, women had more energy, right? Now they're getting out there. They're like showing up because we've all been exhausted before, Paige. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had this. I've never seen you without energy. But there's times it's like, oh, I'm too tired. Nah, I don't want to go to that luncheon with my girlfriends or to whatever, is going on. And we don't really feel good. So then we just stay home, our hair is pulled back. Well, all of a sudden people are saying, oh, I have more energy, Tracy. Oh my gosh, I'm getting up, I'm getting dressed, I'm doing these things, I'm going out. You're right. Now it's helping me with my confidence. It's all what we're ready to talk about stemming together. So it's not about size. I want you to think about the things we're saying because this whole podcast, and I want Paige to share a little bit, I'm pure. It's all about energy and confidence. The day Paige
Mhm.
said that to me, I get goosebumps all over my body. I was like, what? This has been my life. Like everything is just energy and confidence, right? And we have to admit, Paige, when I am tan, I was with a woman just over the weekend who's in her mid 60s, probably later 60s now, who said, oh my gosh, I need a bottle of that. Haven't been out in the sun anymore because, right, my skin doctor, I've had a couple places taken off, but I am more confident when I have a tan.
Mhm.
And you know what
Mhm.
that more confidence does? Again, you get up, you get dressed, you be with your friends, you go out when you've got movement. And Paige, you're going to talk probably a little more about this. Any type of movement forward, right? Because now she does. She's like, she cannot wait to get her product because Being tan even gives her more confidence. Knowing what to put on your skin, this is why we're here, gives you more confidence. What do I feed my body and thinking? More confidence. What do I fuel my body with? More confidence. We're here to help you with that.
Mhm.
So, Paige,
Yeah.
I feel like now I just went on and on and on. But I would love for you to share even just a little bit more because, Paige, being, starting Alon Pure, when you said it's all about energy and confidence, I was like, let's go, girl.
I, well, that makes me happy because I mean, many moons ago, so 2020, when I faced the hormone challenges and when I knew I was going to start a company, I was going through formulation before I had even figured out the brand name because I was like, I need something that is so meaningful to this. And I literally said the word confidence. I was like, I started with the self tan because that was the one product where I'm like, I cannot find a brand I literally trust. Like, and there's the color. No one can get it right. No one could get it right. And so we finally came across this French word, Elan, which really has a beautiful description and meaning, but essentially it embodies everything confidence and energy. And all throughout growing up, anywhere I've ever worked, I've always been the girl that brings the energy. And so it was so fitting because it kind of pulled together like me personally and what I want to embody and then pass on to other people because I want everyone to live more energetic lives. And you do that through the Tracy wellness side, which is really why I wanted to bring on a wellness expert and make sure we had someone like Tracy running the show in terms of wellness education and community, because that is so near and dear to my heart. And she mentioned the plug of Living Alon Network, which we are going to share a little bit more about. And she's really going to be leading that, which I'm so excited about. And then you have the other piece, which is where I talk a lot about, which is like that mindset. And so I always want to give you guys non-toxic products because that also leads to more energy. You're putting on clean, good products into your skin. We'll give you guys recommendations on other things as well. But at the end of the day, it is everything combined. It really is. My little
Okay.
light just went out, so I'm going to be plugging this in, Tracy.
I love it, right?
We're real
They're
today.
never problems. Never, right? They're just a little something that we're just going to go with. So I love this is happening live with our podcast right now because
Big
it could
time.
totally throw you. And it's like, no, this is real. If anybody's out there right now and they're thinking, gosh, I'd love to start a podcast, but I can't do this, that, look what just, here we are. We're in our home offices and we're just keeping it real right now. That's what I always say. I love keeping
We
it
are
real.
keeping it real. Like we're keeping it real. No, and I have to say, Tracy, I think what's really cool about what you said on the nutrition side and the energy side is Tracy's really going to be that resource where if you guys have questions on what to fuel your bodies with, we do have a portion on our website, and you can also email, I'll plug this, hello@alonpure.com, because we're going to formulate a lot of these episodes around what you guys are wanting to know and have questions on. And so we cover it all. Wellness to us is not, it's literally not just food. It's not just products. It's your mindset. It's how you're actually building, it can even be building companies, building friendships.
Yes.
It's everything in building a life with more energy and confidence. And so whatever that encompasses, that's why we're going to have some weird episodes. We'll have some episodes on wellness. We'll have all of the things because we really want to pass this forward and help you guys create your own community and feel like you have a place to come as a resource.
So, I mean, as I've uh, anyway, just spoken throughout the years and on wellness. And I always do something on like these 10 keys to wellness. And perhaps I'll break that down and, inside the community when we talk more about that. We can even do our little 10 keys to wellness. But the last piece that I think it isn't because it's there, because it's last, is about support and community. Because when you can show up and you can ask questions and you can then rally around one another, right? I'm not going to have all the answers. Paige won't have all the answers, but somebody's going to have the answers. And when you feel like you're in a safe space, that gives you confidence. That's
It
what I've
does.
realized over the years. And so again, when Paige was talking about the meaning with Alon and energy and confidence and community, I said, girl, again, let's go. Let's do this. So we can't wait to hear from you. Please, we're going to put that email down in the show notes because we want to hear, what was it? First of all, we're going to talk about scooch here in a minute because we always want you to tag us on our scooches. Because you
Mhm.
know what we like to do? When you tag us, we love resharing that, right? We're always about because it's about community. We want to hear, we want to see your face. Like we all want to connect and we'll have other bigger ways that we're going to do that very soon. But right now, every single week we have a scooch. And so, Paige, I I keep I want you to know that I keep looking down. I have two scooches. I did this last week. Paige, the last episode was two scooches. I kept telling her, oh, one scooch a week. Well,
I know. I hear you because I'm like, man, there are so many scooches out of this episode. I'm like, there are so many. Can I tell you what my scooch
please
personally
do.
is, though?
I want you to go first.
Because I'm going to tell you. So, I, for me personally, I quit my corporate job last September. So, we're coming up on a year, which is kind of crazy. I was running a lawn basically behind the scenes, working corporate still. And finally in September, I was like, okay, I got to go all in on my dream. So, do that. And I get to working at home a lot more. And what's interesting is I felt my energy shift because I was actually not wearing clothes that give me energy. And so my personal scooch is to actually get dressed every single day. Like every single day. And for me, that also means putting makeup on every single day because that does give me more energy. Now, I am going to be wearing slippers, not stilettos in the house like Tracy probably. I mean, I do love a good heel, but we're going to stick to the slippers. But that's really mine. I think finding my own personal style, toying around with getting even a personal stylist, like helping some people figure that out. Tracy and I have been really passionate about this as well. You do show up differently when you're comfortable in what clothes you're wearing. For some people, that might be athleisure. For Tracy and I, it's definitely a little bit more dressed up because we are a little bit more, we love it, you know? We love it. I don't know.
It's just our style.
It's just our
No
style.
right or wrong. Different's
No right or
different.
wrong.
So own that style. But
Own it and figure out what it is. So that is my scooch personally. Get dressed every day and really just discover, maybe get on Pinterest, figure out what my own personal style is so
yeah.
that I can kind of come out with my own unique energy.
I love that so much. And Paige, it's so true. I'm going to echo a little bit and add on to her scooch because never in my life, like most of the world, 2020 hit. And for most of the year, people would laugh at me on Zoom calls. They're like, don't even tell us you still have stilettos on. I'm like, I don't know how else to do this. I wore stilettos in high school. I wore stilettos pregnant. I mean, it's just a part of who I am. Again, not somebody else. I don't need them wearing stilettos like my daughter, right? Her thing is flip flops. She's got every color shoe, and I made sure that she owned that as a young girl. I didn't need her being like her mom. Like I wanted her to own that inner confidence. But getting dressed, like you said, was really huge because by the end of 2020, to be honest, as I like to say, had a little pineapple on my head. So I don't know if anybody else, I would pull my hair up in a ponytail and twist it, and I called myself the pineapple princess, right? And then the next thing you know, you're not fully getting like all of your cosmetics on. And that was really messing with me. So if that's something for you to get dressed, I'll say that own your own style, right? Put your non-toxic lip gloss on, whatever your favorite is. We should put
Yeah.
down the show notes a couple few. Honestly, that makes a huge difference. And I'm going to say I have down here still two things, but people who know me, I'm huge about I am messages. And you heard me say earlier in this episode, and when you say them out loud, you don't read them. So when I had on the back of my door, I am good enough. I am smart enough. I deserve success. Like that was early on. I bet you I had that on the back of my door like for 8 years. And then I had sticky notes, right? I am confident. I am enough. I am worthy. I am lovable. Whatever that is for you, it's amazing how when you first say it, it's like, your brain doesn't even, like, if you don't really believe it, You're a little like, ah, but now you start saying it. But I'm going to tell you right now, you ever heard the phrase like you eat your words? Like I said something, I wish I could have taken them back. Here's what I tell people: the words you say out loud are out, their vibration, their energy. We all can feel it, right? From Paige, your energy that we all feel, your laugh, to like if somebody isn't like, we've all felt that energy before. It's because that energy, when we say words out loud, actually go down in our vibration of our eardrum and go into our body and our spirit. So we say eat, but we really do eat our words. So we've got to be careful of words. But also, I want you to start put, I am confident. I am enough. I don't care what it is. You
Yeah.
make yourself listen to those words, that vibration go down into your, next thing you know, like you're like saying it, like
Yeah.
you're doing it. So
And write it down. When I did that phase, like when I was going through that, I had to write them all down, write them all down. The second a negative thought comes in,
mm-mm.
fill it with something positive immediately.
Yes. And
Immediately.
and celebrate yourself. Women aren't good at this at all. Like I don't care if that, for myself, it was sleep, right? And so now I go, hey, 2 times this week, I went to bed when I wanted to, and I am going to celebrate myself. I don't care what it is. Maybe this week, now I'm not saying that you're not getting dressed, you're not putting lip gloss on, but it's not all or nothing. So I want to get that. Maybe twice this week, you got, hey, you write that down. You congratulate yourself. I know we're always coming up with a jingle. If you're on YouTube watching, Paige and I were dancing because we're going to celebrate that. Because when you write
Yeah.
that down, you go, oh my gosh. And you like you want to do it again. It's like, I'm going to do it two
Yeah.
times again next week. And maybe next week you do it 3 times. Like all of
I
a
did
sudden.
I did my hair today, and I don't normally do my hair.
Yep.
That's a celebration.
It is a celebration. So start celebrating yourself. And here's the thing we would love, 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 love. Please, I'm going to say it. Tag Alampure, tag myself and Paige. Our handles are down in the show notes because we want to celebrate with you. We want to, one, cheer you on, two, share. You heard what we said about community. Like go out there, start tagging. Let's share this. Like let's celebrate one another. What is your thing? We want to know. We want to hear from you. So, Paige, I am going to have you wrap this one up today. Because
Okay.
I know, I'm like, normally I'm wrapping up, and I'm like, oh, Paige is,
I'm like,
she's
Tracy,
so
this
energetic.
is your show, girl.
She's so
Well-
energetic and confident. I'm like, I need okay, I've done my thing. I'm handing it off.
Well, hand it off. Hand it off. I'm not used to this. This is Trace. This is Tracy's deal. But here's what I will say to close us out. Number one, if you want to build a life with more energy and confidence, there are 3 main things that you can start with. Of course, Tracy mentioned the first one, which is really take inventory of what you're eating. Really try to add in some of those better for you options to give you more energy. Number 2, check your mindset. Like whatever you can, negative thought comes in, fill it with a positive one. Like just check it. You can steal my word if you want. Instead of having problems in your life, you have situations. That you can totally do that. And lastly, figure out your own personal style. What makes you show up your like feeling like your true self, right? Write those down, figure out what that is, and then experiment and tell us about it. Thank you so much, Tracy. As always, you are such an incredible host. I just adore you, and I'm so excited to keep showing and giving a little bit more plugs on the Living Alone Network. Until next time, thanks everybody.